So we are here at the exercise number 6, the income distributions. No idea? So then we just have to multiply 15,000 euros with 1,000 households equals 1,000 times 15. And then we calculate, of course, the total income in our society, and this is the sum of all class incomes. And now the first question was calculate average and median income. What is then the average income? Let's have a look. Had you calculated this? No. What is the average income? And the median income. If you have 2,000 households and these 2,000 households altogether have an income of, what is this then, 81 million euros. Then of course we have to divide our total income by the number. So average income will be then 81,000 divided by 2,000. And what is the median income? What is the definition of the median of a distribution? Well, this is, so to speak, the midst of our distribution. So 50% of every household has to earn less than this income, and 50% has to earn more than this income. So since we have 2,000 households, well, then there is no definite midpoint, but then of course we just use the 1,000 poorest household and the 1,001 poorest household, and then we divide these two incomes of these households by 2. So what is the income of the 1,000 poorest household? well, we have no definite information, but we assumed on average here 15,000. And here for the class, and this is then the income which we assume for these 1,000 households. So the 1,000th household would then earn 15,000. And if we go then one step further to the 1,001st household, then we have here 45. So we have to calculate the average of 45 and 15, and this would be 30. Or what you also can argue is that we would use always the border of the interval. So then, since we assumed a uniform distribution, then you would say that you would start with, let's say, 29,999 euros for the 1,000th household, and then 30 for the 1,001st household, and then you more or less also end up at 30 for the median income. So this would be then 15 plus 45 divided by 2. And then for the Gini coefficient, we of course have again to calculate our relative distributions, and this we called F and G. And then we would start here with the sum again of the poorest class divided by the total number of households, and this we also have to fix. And for G, there of course we have to calculate the relative or the proportion of the aggregated income of the poorest class, 15,000 divided by 81, and so on. So we obtain here sum of 15 fix 2, like this always disappears here, I don't know, divided by the total income. So let's also use here percentage. And then we can draw the Lorentz curve. Let's add, oops. Okay, let's move this here. And let's add also the equally distributed curve. Then we start here and Oops. Did it wrong. Why didn't it add up? Again, D. Oh, we need here D. And here we also need a D. Again, this didn't work. Now it was. Okay, so this is then our Lorentz curve. And we want to calculate the Gini. Oops. And for this, we need Fi minus Fi minus 1 and Gi minus Gi minus 1. So this would be then this minus this. Sorry, here we need a plus. And this would be this plus this. And again, I misspelled here. This for F, we need, of course, D. Let's take the summation, or then we need, let's call this X and Y, and then X times Y, multiplying this summation and 1 minus the sum is our Gini coefficient. Okay, so then this would be first calculations. And the Lorentz curve. And now comes the interesting part, because now we want to talk about the redistribution of the incomes within our society, introducing taxes. And for this, let's have a look in the exercise. So, consider a tax allowance of 20,000 euros. This means that we do not pay any taxes for our first 20,000 euros we are earning, and then from 20,000 euro to 60,000 euro we should start with an initial tax rate of 20%. This is similar to the initial tax rate in Germany, and then we rise up linearly until 60,000 euros to 40%. And this is also almost the same tax rate we have in Germany. I think it's 45 or 46 percent. And after that, every additional euro will also be taxed 40%. So let's have a look how this tax rate looks like. So if we draw the tax rate, independence from income, income, then we have 0 up to 20,000 euros. Then we initially start at 20%, then until 60,000 euros, we will rise up to 60%. And after that, we should stay. Let's take another color. So then we jump to 20 up to 40% at 40 here. Sorry. And we end with constant tax rate of 40%. Well, then the question is, our first class, how much taxes do they pay? So what we want to calculate, some guy. So this is 1, 2, 3, and 4. Income and taxes. How much taxes has a household having an income of 15,000 euro to pay? Did I forget something? Okay, the tile index. Okay, we will do this afterwards. Let's at first calculate the redistribution, but you're right, of course. We will also calculate the tile index. For this, we just have to apply but I make a marker here that we do not forget this. Thank you. Sorry. But how much taxes has a household to pay which earns 50,000 euros? If these are our tax rates. So small t is tax rate and capital T is tax. So how many euros? 0, of course, because we are just here. 15. And now the question is, how much taxes has a household to pay who is earning 45,000 euros? And for this, of course, we have to keep in mind that a household who is earning 45,000 euros does not pay, though we are around here, that he or she does not pay the tax rate which we find here on the total income, because of course this household has also a tax allowance of 20,000. So for the first 20,000 euros she pays no taxes, and then for the 20,000 first euro she pays 20%, and then rising up until this number here, which would be of course 30%. So what in general then I have to do, because of course these tax rates are defined as marginal tax rates. Any idea? Well, if you think about it, for the first euro, starting at 20,000 euros, I have to pay 20. And then my tax rate rises linearly. So then I have for the 20,000 and second euro, I have to pay a bit more than 20%, rising up to 45,000 euros, ending at 30%. What kind of process am I doing then? This is also something like an aggregation, and mathematically an aggregation just means to integrate. So what I have to do is to calculate this area. So in order to obtain the taxes a household has to pay, we have to take the integral over the marginal tax rate function. So to speak, is then our taxes depending on our income equals the integral of 0 up to our income I over these, and this function we can then call t of I. In order to be right, then we have to change this to e prime t of I di. So then we have to know, or we have to calculate, how does this tax rate function looks like. So what is t of I? T of I is, of course, 0 from 0 smaller I smaller than 20,000. And then we have this linear increase, and after that, larger than 60,000, we stay at 40%. So we have then 40% for 60,000 is smaller than our income. And the interesting part is this part, of course, in the middle. This is just a linear line. And the linear line, if we want to specify a linear line mathematically, what we need is, of course, the slope, dy over dx, and we need the point on the vertical axis. So where is this linear line cutting the vertical axis? First of all, what is the slope? If I go one step to the right, how much steps I have to go in the vertical direction? Well, in order to calculate it in an easier way, let's take here also 1,000 euros. And we can skip this 45, 20, and 15. Well, since this is a linear line, oops, the slope is, of course, always the same. And then, of course, we can also use this triangle to calculate the slope. So this one is, of course, 0.4 minus 0.2. And this one is 60 minus 20. And then we have 0.2 over 40. And this is then, of course, 1 over 200. Am I right? I think so. This cancels. and dividing by 10 again. So where is then this point here? Using the unit percent, then you can more or less say that you have a slope of 1/2. Starting at 20, moving to the left with a slope of 1/2, going to the left from 20 to 0 means then that I have to go down by 10%, or so this would be 10%. So then I will have here 10% plus 1/200 times my income for 20,000 smaller I smaller than 60,000. So if I then want to calculate the taxes this class has to pay, so taxes of 45,000 euros would be then, well, here I start with nothing, so the lower limit would be 20,000, or let's take in thousands. So then from 20 to my income 45, and then 0.1 plus 1/200 oops, and this is my function integrating over the income. So what is the integral of a fixed number? This one here. Integral from, let's say, 0 to 5 dx. In such a way, I think you have written this in school. Or you can say 1 dx. Which function or how does a function looks like where you take the first derivative and the first derivative is 1? So if x prime is 1, what is then f? No idea? Yes, of course. So we have then, this is a constant, so this a constant can also moved out of the integration sign, and then we have 0.1, and then afterwards we have to insert the borders, and here we have I. So the second part is then f prime of x is x. What is f? How does a function look like? Where you take the derivative, and the derivative is just x. Oh, sorry, here. Missed an. Oops. 0.1 times I. I hope you have done simple integration in your math course in the beginning of your studies. Great, totally right. So then, and if we take this 1/2 here, and we have 1 over 200, then of course we write here 1 over 400 times I squared, and also within the borders. So here f of x is x, and here this would be 1/2 x squared. So, and this is just the way we have now, oops, my mouse is doing something strange. This is now what we have to do in order to calculate these taxes. Let's go to another slide. And let's put this one here. Hopefully this works. Yes. And let's take also this one. So now we have to evaluate this. Here is 45 methane. So then we obtain 0.1 times 45 minus 20 plus 1 over 400 times 45 squared minus 20 squared. This we have to evaluate. Let's go then in our Excel sheet. And this would be then here taxes. So the first class doesn't pay any taxes, and this class then pays 0.1 times 45 minus, minus 20 plus 1 over 400 times 45 squared minus 20 squared. So hopefully this is right. Okay. Also in 1,000 euros we need here. So the second class, 75. What do we have to do here? So this would be then 6.5625. 6.5625. 5625. What do we have to do for the second class? Third, sorry. Now we want to calculate the taxes these people have to pay. Well, let's also have a look here. No, I think I have to draw it again. This would be then looking like tax income 20, 40, 20, 60, and then staying at 40, and somewhere here would be 75. So what we now have to do is to calculate this area here. Well, since we already have here our formula, we just have to change this number here, but we have to be careful that this tax rate function is only valid for this interval between 20,000 and 60,000, of course. So the tax rate of 75,000 would then be the integral of 20 to 60, because then we are here in this linear part, 0.1 plus 1 over 200 I di. And what do we have to do for the missing 15,000 euros from 60,000 to 75,000? how much taxes I have to pay for my last 15,000 euros. Well, then my tax rate stays constant at 40,000, 40%. So from my last 15,000 euros, I have to pay always 40%. So plus 0.4, and let's then write it in this way. Income, oops, here, and I from 60 to 75. And this we already have evaluated, though we obtain 0.1 times 60 minus 20 plus 1 over 400 times 60 squared minus 45 squared plus 0.4 times 15. Let's put this in our Excel sheet. So then we more or less can copy this. And then we have to put here in here a 60. Here we need a 60 and plus 0.4 times 50. And this ends up with 18. And the last one, 105. Somewhere here. T of 105,000. Just describe what I have to do. Because it's almost the same way to calculate as we have done it here. So for 105,000, let's take another color again. 105, T of 105,000 would be then just this red area. How do I calculate this red area? Well, of course, I have still the triangle. This is the area of the triangle, and then I have to calculate this rectangular, and this is then of course plus 0.4 times 105 minus 60, so this is 45. And then this is almost the same as this one, just inserting here our 45. So, and we are running out of time. So another homework until the next Monday. Now what you should do is that you calculate the redistribution. So we know that the first class has still 15,000 euros, but the second, that we also redistribute, everybody obtains in our society the same amount back from the government. So we have then total taxes here as the sum. Total taxes, so this would be 18, and let's do this that you can do the homework. 30, and the sum is would be 55, 5, 6, 2, 5, 54, 54, 5, 6, 2, 5. So what we then assume that we redistribute this total amount of taxes equally to our 2000 households. So every household obtains, let's say this one, the redistribution would be then, this is 1,000 euros divided by 2,000. Sorry. At first, we have to calculate the total amount of taxes. Sorry, not calculating this sum. This was wrong. What is the total taxes? A minute only. The total taxes is, of course, the number in the class times what everybody has to pay. So the first one is, of course, everybody pays no taxes times 1,000 people, and the second one 500 times 6.5625 and so on, and then we obtain the total taxes as the sum of this, and this number we have, of course, to redistribute to everybody. So here we need the redistribution, and this would be then 14 1,681 divided by our total number of households, 2,000. So we have a redistribution that everybody gets back from the government 70,340 euros back. So the new income distribution would be then that income after taxes last question. What is then the income of the first class? And then we will end for today. If I have 15,000 euros and I get a redistribution of 7,000 euros, 7,300, more or less. What is then my new income? So in this case, I pay no taxes, 15,000 plus the redistribution. So 15,000 minus what I have to pay taxes plus the redistribution everybody gets. So this one we have to fix. And the second class, they have to pay 6,500 euros, but they obtain 7,340 euros. So they also end up with a slightly higher income before taxes, but then the richer classes in our society, they have to reduce their income because they have to pay 80,000 euros on taxes and they only get back 7,300. And the richest, of course, have the largest redistribution. Okay, and with this new income, you should redo the Gini and Lorentz calculation. And this is then your homework, and also the tile index is the homework for Monday. We will end the exercises, and afterwards we will start with linear regression. So thank you very much for today.